Brazil and Argentina are in early talks to establish a shared unit of value for bilateral trade to reduce reliance on the US dollar, though the move is not aimed at replacing existing currency. They're not trying to make this something like the euro. It's the point is not to have a single unifying currency. They're trying to make this more something that is more focused on trade. But again, that's huge, because when we're talking about trade, we're talking about absolutely enormous sums of wealth and money being transferred, right? So yeah, it's very significant. I'm just thinking of the reaction in Washington, because this is, if you're in Washington, this is the worst thing. This is very bad, because you need to have the dollar monopolizing the planet in terms of the US being the world creditor, the US being the world's reserve currency, right? And if you look at the trend in the last couple of months, pound, the euro, all currencies have gone down against the dollar. So although people are suffering from sanctions blowback in the West, America, the US is still coming out, is still emerging with some small victories, because all of these European companies are going to go to the US. The dollar is getting stronger against other currencies. So they're still gaining from it in one sense. But this is another threat that they have to contend with. And I think the Ukraine war is actually, it's basically speeding this up. Not just in terms of Brazil, but I'm speaking generally, right? You're basically seeing this process of de-dollarization, of shift towards the East, happening on an expedited scale, on a much faster scale. So that's why it's so important. The thing is, one of the arms of this machine is, of course, the World Bank and the IMF, because what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll pretend they're saving a country by giving them dollars and bailing them out of whatever crisis they're experiencing. And it's like, they're like loan sharks, basically. We'll give you some money now, but later on you have to pay us back in dollars, and you have to do what we tell you politically, right? So you have to, if you don't pay us back on time, we're going to impose these political conditions on you. And when you need more money, again, we're going to come and impose even stricter and tighter conditions on you. So you end up with countries who have this huge debt over their heads. They can't pay back the IMF, and the IMF is now demanding even more concessions for them to bail them out of the first crisis that they were put in. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And the sanctions regime is another arm of this, of Uncle Sam, I guess, because the United States is able to use the dollar to isolate countries, right? Because when they put sanctions on someone, all the other countries, they can't deal with this. Let's take Russia as an example, right? No one wants to deal with Russia in the West, because they're afraid of being punished themselves by the United States. And they need the dollar, and they need to work with US banks, and they have headquarters or offices in the US. And so the United States is leveraging that position to punish countries, whether they deserve it or not is irrelevant, because they're not the world police, but they pretend to be. And they always use the dollar against other people. So it's kind of a sick catch-22. You want to use the dollar because it gives you access to global markets, it gives you access to other resources, you can do business internationally, but then the United States can just shit on you whenever they like and isolate you and leverage your use of their currency against you. So people are getting sick of that, especially when they're the ones helping to prop it up, like the Saudis. Their sale of oil only in dollars is what gives the U.S. its prestige and the dollar its value, especially since the 70s, right?